You ever have one of those moments where everything you've worked for turns against you? Yeah, that was me last Tuesday. Name's Armin. I'm 32, tech lead at a startup that's been my second home for the last 5 years. I'm the guy who coded the AI system that was supposed to take us to the next level. Irony, right? The very thing that saved the company also got me shown the door. It all started like any other day. I got a message from HR. Please see the CEO at 10 a.m. No details. My stomach twisted a bit. Not because I was scared, but because I knew. Walking into that glass-walled office felt surreal. Mr. Dalton, our CEO, sat there, calm as ever, sipping his coffee. He smiled, but it was one of those corporate smiles, polite, but with a sharp edge underneath. Armin, he said, I want to start by saying you've done incredible work. This AI platform you developed, it's revolutionary. It's changing the way we operate and has massively increased efficiency. I nodded, trying to keep my face neutral. Thank you. It's been a labor of love. He leaned forward, fingers steepled on the desk. Because of this new system, we've had to make some tough decisions. Your role, as valuable as it's been, is no longer necessary. I blinked. You're saying you're firing me because I built the thing that replaces me? Exactly, he said, almost proudly. That's progress. I let out a bitter chuckle. You know, I spent countless nights making sure that system would be flawless. I designed it to handle everything, from customer queries to project management. And now it's redundant me. He shrugged like it was nothing personal. Business is business, Armin. I glanced around his office, the place where I'd pitched ideas and brainstormed future plans, now feeling like a cage. I took a breath and said, There's one thing you might not know. He raised an eyebrow. Oh, what's that? I smirked slightly. There's a kill switch built deep into that AI. Silent, invisible to anyone but me. If the system ever went haywire, I'm the only one who can shut it down. His confident facade flickered for a moment. Is that a threat? Not a threat. A safeguard, I replied. Because even the smartest AI can have a glitch. And someone needs to keep the reins. He said nothing for a long second. Then, he waved a hand dismissively. Well, Armin, I hope you find new opportunities soon. We're grateful for your contributions. I stood up, feeling a strange mix of anger and calm. Thanks. Just remember that kill switch. Walking out, the door clicked behind me like a final verdict. Jobless, but not powerless. I pulled out my phone and texted my best friend, Jason. Well, got the boot today. They replaced me with my own code. His reply was instant. Damn, that's brutal. What now? I smiled to myself. Now I play my cards. After I walked out of that CEO's office, my mind was racing 1,000,000 miles an hour. Sure, they'd kicked me out, but what they didn't know was that I wasn't completely powerless. The AI system I'd built, the one they were so proud of, had a little secret. A kill switch, a hidden backdoor that only I could trigger. You might be thinking, why the hell would a guy put something like that in? Honestly, it was a mix of paranoia and foresight. I'd been coding for over 10 years by then, and I'd seen systems spiral out of control before. Glitches, bugs, even rogue AI behavior. No matter how smart your code is, nothing's foolproof. So I coded this kill switch in a way that was almost invisible. It wasn't some giant red button blinking on a dashboard. It was buried deep in the system's core logic, disguised as a regular function that would never be called unless I called it. Like a digital dead man's switch. And I never told a soul. Not my team, not my manager, not even my closest friends at the company. It was my ace in the hole. Back at my apartment, I sat in front of my laptop, staring at the lines of code that had once been my pride and joy. Now, they felt like a ticking time bomb. I ran my fingers through my hair, thinking about how quickly things had turned. Was this kill switch really a good idea? I wondered aloud. What if it causes more harm than good? The phone buzzed. It was Jason, my best mate from college, and one of the few people who knew me well. Jason. Hey, heard about what happened. You okay? I typed back slowly. Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking. Later that evening, we met at our usual pub. It was dimly lit, with that familiar smell of spilled beer and old wood. We grabbed a corner table. Jason looked at me seriously. Man, I can't believe they just threw you out like trash. After all you did. I shrugged, swirling my drink. They didn't throw me out. They just made a business decision. But here's the thing. They don't know about the kill switch I built into the AI. If that thing goes rogue, I'm the only one who can stop it. Jason raised his eyebrows. A kill switch? That's badass. but also kinda scary. You're sitting on a powder keg. I laughed dryly. Yeah, it's like holding a loaded gun. But sometimes, you need that power just to make sure things don't get worse. Jason shook his head. Do you think you'll ever use it? I paused. I don't know. I hope not. But if they keep pushing the AI as a replacement for people like me, someone's gotta have the final say. We sat in silence for a moment. The hum of the pub felt distant, almost like a different world. After a while, I admitted. To be honest, I'm scared. This kill switch, it's my safety net. But it's also a reminder that the system could fail. And when it does, I'm the one who has to fix the mess. Jason clapped me on the back. You're a smart guy, Armin. Whatever happens next, you'll handle it. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The kill switch was my secret weapon, my leverage. But it was also a responsibility heavier than I'd ever imagined. No one knows what the future holds. But I'm ready to face it, on my own terms. Weeks passed since I got the boot. I kept my head down, staying off their radar. But I still followed the news. Watched as the company hyped the new AI-powered product. The very system I built from scratch. It was supposed to be the crown jewel, the next big thing, that would disrupt the entire industry. The day of the launch arrived. I wasn't invited, of course. But I was glued to my phone, scrolling through the live feed of the event. The CEO was giving his grand speech, boasting about the AI's flawless performance and how it would revolutionize everything. But then, things started to go wrong. At first, it was small glitches, a delayed response here, a minor miscalculation there. Then the glitches snowballed. The AI began making decisions that made no sense. Orders got mixed up, schedules overlapped, customers received wrong information. Back at the company's headquarters, the panic was immediate. I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't pick up, but curiosity got the better of me. Armin, it's Lisa from the support team, said the shaky voice on the other end. The AI is malfunctioning. We're losing control of the system. The whole launch is at risk. I ran my hand through my hair. What kind of errors? There are conflicting commands, system loops, and it's starting to override manual inputs. We can't shut it down. I felt a cold rush. That was exactly the nightmare scenario I'd feared. I said, listen, I'm going to need full access. No interference from anyone else. I'm coming in. When I arrived at the office, chaos greeted me. The usually sleek workspace was filled with frantic engineers, panicked executives, and ringing phones. The CEO spotted me immediately. His confident mask was cracked. Armin, I didn't expect to see you here, he said, voice tight. I'm here to fix your mess, I replied, not wasting time. He motioned me toward the control room, where the AI's core systems were monitored. Screens flashed red warnings. Logs scrolled by faster than anyone could read. I pulled up the back-end system, fingers flying over the keyboard. It was worse than I thought. The AI's self-learning algorithm had gone rogue, feeding on bad data and creating a feedback loop that spiraled out of control. The head of IT, Mark, came over, eyes wide. We've tried everything. We can't regain control. I glanced at the screen. Time to hit the kill switch. Heads turned. The CEO looked like he wanted to argue, but he knew better. With a steady hand, I entered the secret command, the kill switch code buried deep inside the system. The screens flickered, alarms stopped blaring, and the system powered down. Silence fell. I leaned back, breathing heavily. The crisis was averted, for now. The CEO approached, face unreadable. You saved the launch. I looked at him, cool but firm. Yeah, but remember, this system isn't perfect. And next time, it might not be me saving you. After shutting down the rogue AI and saving the launch from total disaster, I knew the company was in trouble, big trouble. I watched from a distance as the chaos unfolded. Emergency meetings, fired-up executives pacing the halls, and engineers scrambling to patch holes. The system they had proudly put all their faith in was failing spectacularly. And just like that, the phone calls started coming. First, polite emails from HR, then urgent texts from Lisa, and finally, a call from the CEO himself. At first, I ignored them all. Why would I rush back to a place that threw me out like garbage? But the calls kept coming, louder and more desperate each day. It was like watching a sinking ship begging the captain to come back and save it. One afternoon, Lisa's message popped up on my phone again. We need you. The board wants to meet with you. Please. I stared at the message for a long time, running my hands through my hair. They wanted me back, but this time on my terms. Not as the disposable coder, but as the man who held the key to their survival. The meeting was scheduled for the very next day. The same glass office where I had been told I was no longer needed now felt like a battleground. I arrived early, dressed sharply but calm. The CEO, Mr. Dalton, greeted me with a forced smile that barely hid his desperation. "Armin," he said, voice tight, "we underestimated the system's complexity, and we underestimated you. We want you back. Full time." I folded my arms and leaned against the window, looking out for a moment before facing him again. "I'll come back," I said slowly, "but it's not going to be on your old terms." His eyes flicked with curiosity and maybe a hint of fear. "Then name your terms." I took a deep breath, feeling the power shift with every word. Triple my old salary, equity in the company, a seat on the board, and full control over the AI system, including the kill switch. The room went silent. Board members exchanged nervous glances. Dalton's jaw tightened. I could almost see the calculations running behind his eyes. How much money, how much control, how much risk? He finally nodded. "You're asking a lot, Armin." I smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was the smile of a man who had been underestimated for too long. Good, because I'm worth it. Then came the negotiations. For hours we sat around that glossy table, hashing out details, compromises, and conditions. I stayed calm, hiding the fire burning inside me. This wasn't just about money or power. It was about respect. It was about making sure that next time, no one could throw me away. At one point, Dalton tried to appeal to my loyalty. "Armin, this company was built on your vision. We need you to believe in it again." I looked him dead in the eye. "I do believe, but belief doesn't pay the bills. Control does." When the deal was finally sealed, I stood up, feeling the weight of the moment. Dalton extended his hand, and I shook it firmly, knowing that this was the start of a new chapter, one where I held the cards. As I left the building, the city buzzed around me like it always did. But inside, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: power. The kind of power that comes from being the only one who holds the key to a kingdom. They thought they could replace me. They were wrong. The game was mine now. The moment I hit that kill switch, silence fell over the room like a heavy fog. The screens went dark, alarms stopped screaming, and the chaos finally ceased. I leaned back, letting out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. They looked at me, wide-eyed, speechless. The very people who threw me out, the same ones who believed they could erase me, were now completely dependent on me. The irony wasn't lost on me. The CEO broke the silence first, voice laced with awe and maybe a hint of fear. "Armin, you saved the company." I smiled, but it was cold. "I fixed the problem. But don't forget, I'm the only one who knows how to do this. The kill switch isn't just a button. It's control." He swallowed hard. "What do you want?" I stood tall, every inch the man in charge now. "I already told you. Triple the salary, equity, a seat at the board, and absolute authority over the AI system." Heads nodded around the table. They had no choice. But there was more, a deeper satisfaction, one beyond money or power. They thought they could replace me, discard me like a tool no longer needed. Now, the tables were turned. I was the puppet master behind the curtain, the king of a digital kingdom they barely understood. I looked around at the faces, the desperate, the humbled, the awed. "Here's the truth," I said quietly. "You wanted to push me out. You wanted the AI to run the show without me. But a system like this needs a mind behind it. Someone who knows its limits, its flaws, its weaknesses." I paused, letting the weight of my words sink in. You can't replace human ingenuity. You can't ignore the human factor. And if you ever try to cut me out again, well, let's just say the kill switch won't be so silent next time. They didn't argue. They knew better. For the first time in a long time, I felt respect. Not the fake kind. The real kind, earned through knowledge, strategy, and resilience. I walked out of that boardroom knowing one thing for sure. I wasn't just back. I was in control. And this time, I was never letting go.